All right, guys, here's a few pictures of the Lion's Mound, the symbolic hill with a statue of the lion that comes to represent the Duke of Wellington. And this is the battlefield, the great battlefield of Waterloo, where Napoleon was defeated. That, for the second and final time, that will kick off the Congress of Vienna, that 10-month party held in Vienna, Austria. And this, the farm Napoleon coordinated the battle, is right back here, and this is the chalk field that his men marched across, going to this steep hill where they were finally broken and defeated just by a whisker. Really steep stairs to get up there. It was terrifying for the British soldiers who watched this oncoming horde of elite French soldiers, but in the end the British prevail and old Napoleon dies in St. Helena in 1821. Well, the success of the American Revolution, along with the French Revolution, is going to have a reciprocal effect down into the Americas. When Europe is caught up in this revolutionary period in Napoleonic Wars, they can't focus on their colonies. So between 1804 and 1824, the major European powers of France, Spain, and Portugal will be removed from the colonies. They will have to leave their colonies that helped make them wealthy during the age of absolutism. And part of this problem is going to extend from the social hierarchy system. If you were a noble born in the Americas, particularly Portuguese or Spanish, you were known as a peninsulare. Well, when the French Revolution happened and Napoleon invaded Spain and Portugal, a lot of those peninsulares moved to the New World. And when they got there, they kicked out New World nobles known as Creoles out of their job. They just simply got rid of them, because a peninsulare was more important than a Creole, which is a French, a Spanish, or a Portuguese noble born in the New World. So, the problem is the peninsulares were then constantly at odds with the Creoles. And these Creoles did not like having their jobs taken over in the Americas. So they want to gain independence from the stranglehold of the mother country. Key to note here is they want to keep their social position and wealth in the Americas. They just want to be free from their mother country. So, as Napoleon conquers Spain, he puts his little brother on the Spanish throne. This then creates a combined Spanish-French empire, where the Spanish colonies really are working for Napoleon. Now the Creoles, the Spanish nobles, are furious because the French will come in during the Revolution. They were given territory in the New World, and they take jobs from the Creoles. So the Creoles are going to partner with the island natives so they could gain independence. The natives are going to form the backbone of the armies that will fight against the Europeans, but even though they help the Creoles achieve independence, they never benefit from it. The Creoles believe that while achieving independence from Spain and Portugal was necessary, they did not want to lose their social positions here in the New World. They wanted to especially keep their slaves who were doing the labor, because slavery was a crucial element in keeping their economic and social status. The sugar, the molasses, the rum, the tobacco, the cotton. Basically, they wanted independence for themselves, but not for their people. So Creoles, along with other merchants in Latin America, also wanted free trade. Spanish colonies, French colonies, British colonies wanted to trade with each other, and not for their own benefit and not just to benefit the mother country. So the first stop in Latin American independence is going to be in the island of Haiti. And this happens because while France was undergoing the revolution, they couldn't keep a grip, a stranglehold on their colonies at home. So an uprising of the repressed classes, the slaves and the poor, is going to be a recurrent theme in these revolutions. It starts in France when the sans-culottes lose control. When you're downtrodden, you're beaten down, and you've got no hope, what do you have to lose? So Haiti is sometimes referred to as Hispaniola. And they're going to start their revolution in 1791, and it will take them until 1804 to achieve it. Now, Haiti was one of the most valuable colonies of France in the late 1700s because many of the French nobles owned large sugarcane plantations. And here is the different colors. These are all the different colonized territories that are controlled in Latin America. And so there's a little bit of the Creoles who did not like their loss of status at the hands of the Peninsulares. And so we're going to get back to Spain here in a second. Whoops. All right, well, that is not working. So anyway, we'll get to Jose de San Martin here in a little bit. The guy we're going to focus on is this guy right here, Toussaint L'Ouverture. And Toussaint is an interesting guy. But these sugar plantations, due to the high demand of sugar in Europe, were run by literally hundreds of thousands of slaves. Also on the island were free people. However, many of them were half French and half natives, so-called mulattoes. But since they were neither fully native nor fully French, they were treated very badly, especially by the French. So, the Haitian independence movement, as you can see, is led by Toussaint L'Ouverture. And Toussaint was born a slave, but his ancestry in Western Africa, he was either a noble or even a royal. And so his father taught him to take pride in his African heritage, and he learns the language of his West African tribe, his ancestors. But Toussaint was very bright, smart guy. He also learned to speak French, and more importantly, he had the ability to read and write. And these two skills, educated skills, are a large difference maker. So, as a result, while he's working, Toussaint is able to read the French philosophies during the Enlightenment, John Locke and Rousseau, and, Diderot's encyclopedias. And since he was smart, Toussaint is given a job. He is a slave, but he becomes like a business manager or a secretary/accountant. And when the revolution breaks out, those Enlightenment ideas stick with him. And when the slaves revolt in 1791, Toussaint is 48 years old. He helps his master and his family escape, and then he joins the revolution. And Toussaint, because of his intelligence, also has an uncanny skill as a military leader, kind of like Oliver Cromwell in the English Civil War. And Toussaint becomes a general, and he leads the army of slaves as they fight trained armies of several European countries. First, he fights against the Spanish. And when he's winning there, the British show up hoping to hijack their rival Spanish territory, and Toussaint defeats them as well. This is one of the bloodiest, nastiest, violent revolutions in the Americas. But by 1798, Toussaint achieves his goal. The enslaved Haitians had become freed. Now, they were technically still a French colony, but Toussaint and his army controls most of the island. And so Toussaint starts to slowly rebuild his country. It had been devastated by almost a decade of war. So he works with the remaining French nobles to expand trade, to create a democratic Haitian constitution. He even tries to create a government where whites, mixed race Haitians, and even African slaves could work together. Things are looking good, but the game changer comes in when Napoleon rises to power in France. The revolution was over and Napoleon needs money. And he's got to pay to outfit his massive army to take on Europe. So he wants to recapture Haiti. In 1802, he wants to use it as a staging depot to build up his military men and supplies to hang on to his North American colonies we now know as Louisiana. The United States pioneers were slowly moving west. Napoleon says, if I don't put boots on the ground in New Orleans, those Americans are going to take it. So Haiti is going to be a staging area. Once again, Toussaint has to pick up his sword and fulfill his role as a military leader. However, as Napoleon sends more and more and more French soldiers to Haiti, they begin to fall victim to malaria and yellow fever. They're sick, they're weak, and they could not fight. So instead of fighting, the French invite Toussaint to a large house of the nobles for peace talks. We are going to use diplomacy. Thinking that diplomacy, is a better way, Toussaint rather shows up, and when he walks in the door, he is quickly jumped and arrested by French soldiers who run him out the back. The house was located near the seashore. He's put aboard a French warship where he is taken to France, where he dies in prison. However, because of the cost of wars in Europe in 1804, Napoleon can't hang on to Haiti, and he is forced to abandon it. And in 1804, the Haitian leaders declare their independence. And over the next 16 years, different Haitian leaders fight each other for power, each trying to become the prime minister, the president, or the governor. But in 1820, Haiti becomes a new republic. And it is the only non-slave working country in the Americas where slavery is disbanded first. However, it doesn't mean the poor people benefited. They might not any longer be slaves. They may not any longer be working for the Spanish, but they were still treated very badly. And while they were paid laborers, it wasn't very much. So they do not benefit from independence whatsoever. All right, guys, that is Haiti. We will do Mexico and South America on Monday. Over and out.